Build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, legacy builders, welcome back to another show. I am alone today, actually. I'm so used to bringing on so many beautiful guests here on our show. But today I'm doing a solo episode on a very important topic, I believe, because this comes across really in the day to day work that we do as seasoned entrepreneurs and as CEOs in our companies, or even with our families, even in with the rest of our relationships that are really important in our lives, which is communication, right? Communication is one of those things that is how we communicate and really transfer information from one brain to another. It's as simple as that. That is a research, Google research that I've done on communication and simplifying the concept. It's really what it is, right? How do we communicate effectively? Communication from one brain to another, whether that is in our companies, whether that is with our brand, whether that is with our kids, whether that is with our partners, whether that is with our work, right? That really boils down to the same principles. So I want to share with you some of the most foundational principles that I've seen in my journey personally, of course, of me working on this very important skill and masterfying it day in and day out and beating on our craft of communication, whether it is written or spoken. Actually, that is the next two things. So, communication is information that's being transferred from one brain to another, and there's only always two forms of communication, right? It's the spoken word and the written word. Again, depending on your experience, depending on your life journey, depending on your personal and professional journey, you might have worked on one more than another. I've shared my personal story on how I have developed my speaking side more intensively than my writing side, right? So, this is just something for you to kind of assess where is it that you have actually put in more time and energy, and most likely that is what will come more naturally to you. And natural meaning, not only you might be born with the ability, but also because of the practice side of things, right? Because talent is one thing, but of course, even talent has to be practiced so that you can improve it over time. So, the first principle that I've seen in very healthy communication is, of course, listening and holding space for the other person that is in front of you. Again, you can apply these principles in your company, in your personal life, wherever wherever you feel that your communication can improve. Because what happens when you improve your communication is that you build trust, right? And trust is the cornerstone of all our relationships. So listening is the first important skill. This is a skill that I'm always working on, right? Because I think it's something that needs to constantly be something that we stay aware around because of the distractions, because of maybe even the nature of work or of our work as entrepreneurs is to solve problems. And I know that one of the very hard things that I had to personally do is hold myself back from trying to solve the other person's problem on the other side rather than just hold the space for them so they can communicate their needs and their desires. So I don't know if you resonate with it, but let me know if any of this, if this is a challenge for you, because this has been one of my biggest challenges with the listening aspect of communication. Again, because it's so natural to me to be a natural problem solver. But again, back to communication, healthy communication, most of us want to feel heard. We don't necessarily want someone on the other side to solve our problem. So that is the very first principle that I've learned, and I'm constantly honing on this skill with my personal relationships, with my work relationships, with my team, with my clients, everyone that I surround myself with. So listening with no intent to solve a problem. That is the first principle. The second one is, of course, empathy. Empathy is such an important tool. Let's call it a tool or method, whatever you would like. Empathy is such an important tool on our toolbox in becoming masterful communicators, because that is how we build trust and that is how we can relate to one another, right? Relatability is very, very important. If we can relate to one another, then we just don't feel like someone understands us, right? And that's why empathy is the second principle, right? Really coming up or putting ourselves in the other person's shoe and sharing a common experience that we have personally gone through or a story around someone that we know that must have gone through something similar, right? So that is the second principle. The third one is reflecting back what you have heard, right? So reflecting back, projecting, mirroring. There's a lot of different ways to name these concepts, but just reflecting back, I could see, I can hear that whatever the person is actually sharing, right? Because again, when we feel or I guess when we hear someone repeating back whatever is it that we share, we feel heard, right? And it's also pretty respectful, I should say, because we all have our own colors in the way that we perceive things. So when someone on the other side is really repeating what they heard us say, you're giving the other person a chance to really ensure that they understood where you're coming from. So there is no miscommunication, right? Because the other things that's so easy to do with communicating with one another is miscommunication, right? I mean, you could say one thing and you could mean something else, right? The intention behind what is it that you are saying can be completely different from how you are perceived. So, of course, by reflecting back what you're hearing, you ensure that the other party is heard, but you also have a good understanding based on what you have heard that really aligns with the intention of the other party. So, those are three principles on communication that I've seen are actually at the cornerstone of everything we do. And again, this is a practice that is constant because I think the biggest challenge with our relationships around us is to stay present enough with the other person so we get to practice these skills and hone in these skills as, of course, they become part of your new habits, right? Just like anything, I wish I would have took a communication class in college or elementary school, but that is the past, and we're moving on. Right? We are here, and I think this is very important, even when you are serving your clients, right? I mean, how important is it that your clients feel heard, right, on the other side? And for us to hold back that tendency of problem solving for them, right? Because that is probably not what they are looking from us, right? Because if we skip the other three principles and we're going straight to problem solving, we have not built reciprocity and trust. And unless those two are built, whatever solution you can have the best solution for somebody, you just will not connect with them. Okay, and I find this also very important with parenting as well. For those of you that are parents, at the end of the day, I find that all the things that we learn in our parenting journey is really about this very important skill, because as humans, this is how we connect. So as a parent, being practicing these same principles with your child, I think it's very important as well, and always a learning experience for sure. So thank you so much for those of you that have joined. I've actually reached the end of my show today. If you are looking for to hone in the skill, this is just something that I do so naturally and organically in the programs and the private consulting that I offer to help you grow your company and your business, because these are just skills that come to play when you are communicating online, when you are communicating virtually, when you are speaking somewhere, when you are sharing your expertise or journey with other audiences, right? I mean, communication is at the foundation of everything. When you want to shorten the trust process, I call it, not the sales process. When you want to shorten the curve, how do I build trust faster with my audience, right? When you want to shorten that cycle of the journey from when someone first does not know, likes, and trusts you yet, all the way to the trust building process, and also the open door that you get to serve them at a higher level, right? Because that is what happens after that. So, for any of these things, let me know how this is resonating with you. And I would actually love to take you to my website. I have a few other resources on topics such as this, and you can find that at elonaleparicoaching.com. And you'll be able to get more great, amazing free content to help you with all these different areas of your business growth journey. Thank you so much for watching, and you know where to find this show. You'll find us on all our social media channels and all major podcast platforms, as we're growing daily and we have new listeners joining us. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you next time. I am offering a free 30-minute discovery strategy business growth call for you in order to help you discover the foundational gaps that you might have between your book publishing, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, so that you can make more impact and income in your business this year. Even if you decide not to receive the further support that I could provide for you, you will still walk away with amazing wisdom and value from my 20-year experience in helping entrepreneurs and growing my own successful business, in what are some of the gaps that you are experiencing and how to connect those gaps with your ultimate business and life vision. Schedule a call now, as my calendar gets booked very fast, so that you could take advantage of this 30-minute opportunity to have a personalized chat together.